So, Craig, how are the guys travelling heading into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, we've had our normal week of training. Obviously, it's been we've had a 7-day turnaround, which is good. Like we had a short one, the week before. We've got a couple of short ones coming up, so it's just nice to have that little bit of extra time to prepare for this game. So, and obviously, it's a big game for us with Nas and Kenny playing their 150th and 200th. Respectively. So it's I think everyone's really excited about tomorrow, and hopefully we can perform well.
When you put 120 points in 2 games, is it do you have to sort of be mindful to get your head back in the game, I suppose?
I don't know about the head back in the game, but again, we still review the game. For what it was and what it is, we don't make things up. So, but there's still some things that we need to do a little bit better. Like I say, at the moment we haven't had a game where there's been a lot of ball in play, or for the last 2 weeks, so you sort of worry a little bit about how that affects you. We've tried to make up for that a little bit with our trainer, but it is hard to replicate a training, and if you're not getting it in games. But I'm sure this week, they're a strong physical side, the Dragons, and I'm sure they'll come here and play that way.
They've really picked up a bit of form after people had some doubts on them early on. What have you seen in the recent times? What do you see as their sort of?
Yeah, as I said, they're a strong side, and they're a really physical side. So we're expecting them to be taking it to us real early in the game tomorrow. So I think they've got some good individual players as well. But I think Ben Hunt's probably for me probably playing as well as he's ever played. He's been around a long time and played a couple of clubs, and played in a couple of positions too. He played dummy half there for a bit, but the footy he's playing at the moment, and he's always been a very energetic player, very physical player, for halfback, and looks like he's leading the way, and the rest of them are jumping on the back of that.
I guess you get to have a close-up look at you next when you recruit.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a look at him during the week, so so we'll get a real close-up tomorrow.
Well, obviously you like what he brings to a game, maybe not as an opponent's team, but so a marked him, I suppose, as one to watch.
Oh yeah, we've sort of we've had a look at what Tarek does this week as we have the Dragons, but we know he's a good player. Well before this week, watching him closely. So so like I say, he's just won the opposition this week.
Craig, what's it like to see Kenny get to 200 games? Particularly, he was in and out of the side quite a bit early on. It's sort of a bit of impressive the way he's gotten to such a milestone still.
Yeah, it is. To play 200 games in this competition is not an easy thing to do. His brother presented him his jumper this morning. He made a couple of points as well. And the first one was he used to like food when he was younger, so he didn't end up too bad out of that. But the other thing Jess said about him, it's right on the mark. He said Kenny's got what he deserves. He's worked for everything that he's got. Again, sometimes some people in life, I suppose that they get things put on a plate for them, but that doesn't happen very often. But certainly Kenny, there's been times, through his footy career where, he probably looked like he might not have made it, and but ever since, especially since he's moved to the edge, he's made that position his own, and I know all the other guys on that left edge love playing with him, and so usually that's a good sign they're doing a good job if his teammates really enjoy playing with him.
The other sort of 6 guys in that 7 that have reached the milestone, there's some real superstars amongst them, but Kenny, did you sort of, when Kenny first came, go, he's going to be so valuable for our team, he's going to be
I can't really remember, I can't remember, that's when Kenny made his debut, or that's when Kenny first came to train. I can't with all due respect, I can't remember that. So he didn't make a real big impression, obviously. So, but like so, I can remember when he was on our bench for a bit, and very valuable coming off on the bench. He used to always provide us with a bit of subtlety. He's always had good skill and good knowledge of the game. Could read the game good. And then when the opportunity came to put him on that edge, he's just blossomed since then. And as I said, we've never, I can't ever remember thinking, we might need to put someone else there. Like, that just hasn't happened, and I don't think it's going to happen, for the rest of this year.
And he's just so consistent, isn't he? What he
brings? He is, exactly, and that's what. That's what I like about players, being obviously consistently good. But that's what your teammates want too. They want to know, in this situation, is he going to turn up or is he not going to turn up? Well, Kenny always turns up.
Nelson getting to 150 as well. What's it like seeing him get there? And was there times you worried, thinking, geez, I don't know if Nelson's going to hit this milestone?
No. I know about you don't sort of think about milestones. I think when we first saw Nelson over in Wellington, we went over there to watch some trials, and he was only a 14, 15-year-old, and I think he was playing in under 17s, and he looked older than them as well. How big he was. So he always had the physical attributes. There's been a couple of times when Nasser's sort of, I suppose, flirted with wanting to try different things. Obviously, rugby union come from New Zealand, and his dad was a very big All Black fan. So I think there's been a couple of occasions that he's sort of tinkered with that idea. But he's been wonderful for us ever since he started playing first grade here. And like Kenny, he's played in 2 grand final wins, and as I said, he's been great for us the whole time. But with all due respect, I think he's probably more consistent. He's been more consistent this year than any time in the past, to be quite honest. So he's, like I say, everyone loves playing with him too, obviously, and you don't mind running off the back of Nelson play the ball. So so like those two guys are really popular with their teammates, and they've been, I can't really say how great they've been for our club.
Still working on his kicking game. He seems to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, he's apparently his dad used to take him down the park, and they still a fair bit of kicking. So I think that idea was in his head at a young age. He's always kicking here at train though, always. Just mucking around, kicking and whatever, and everyone sort of notices. His strikes are pretty good. So I don't think that was a fluke the other day. I don't think it's going to happen too often, but I don't think it was a fluke.
The Eels obviously getting up over the Panthers. I mean, there was people were starting to think it was a bit of a 2-horse race, but I guess that sort of blown things open again.
As soon as you think it's a 2-horse race or a 4-horse race or whatever, you come down to earth pretty quickly, and that's just part of our game. It's part of the sport. You got to make sure you prepare well every week, turn up every week, because if you don't, you'll be disappointed.
You mentioned earlier about the ball hasn't been in play a whole lot, the tries and the different things. Is there much else you can do to prepare the guys mentally for if they're in a bit of an arm wrestle, if it does end up, with those long patches of contested?
Oh yeah, there is some things you can do, but it's not as good as having that like in the heat of the battle for the 80 minutes. So obviously, I suppose our main point has been probably physically for that. To try and make up for that lack of ball in play, and the ball being in play for 4 or 5 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is. So it's a couple of things that we've tinkered with the last couple of weeks, and hopefully when we get into that real tight game, and that's going to happen, and it's going to happen heaps before now and the end of the season. Hopefully what we've done is going to help us.
And the Dragons have been in them lately as well.
So there've been a lot of close games. So like I say, they're a tough physical side, and they always fight till the end. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow.